Hey folks, Anthony here, Special Analysis. Welcome to the video. Going to do a short recap here on how this morning played out. Entered the market twice, took some partial profits, got stopped out both times. I was very aggressive with my stop. Today's a inventory report day, so 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We get the inventory report, so I was trying to be done trading kind of before the inventory report hit, and the reason for that was I was trying to just kind of avoid any whipsaw. So as I stated, I was aggressive taking profits, aggressive moving my stop, and I'll kind of walk you through both scenarios. Inside the blog post attached to this video, I will include the footprint charts for the reasons where and why I entered for review, should you decide to want to take a look at them. So first trade came along here around 7:35 this morning. You can see we placed a fairly aggressive bottom here. We started kind of pushing back to the upside. We broke this little interior candle. As you can see, we sat on it here for a handful of candles. So we sat for quite a while, to be honest with you. Just kind of bounced back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally got that push a little bit higher. I'll give you the exact specs here. So it was an entry long at $78.24. Covered 10 of my 30 contracts at $78.45, or sold them, I should say. I sold 10 additional at $78.65, and the final 10 were stopped out at $78.30. So that's kind of how I took that push here to the upside. It's a little concerned that we weren't going to be able to get up into this area, and we didn't. You can see if you look at the chart here on the top, we kind of got jammed up at the VWAPs. So that was the move on the way up and how I exited. Now, on the way back down, you can see we kind of pushed back in right above the overnight low. And right here, I felt like we had a pretty good chance at 9:40 of seeing some continuation to the downside. So I entered short at 78.50. I covered 10 of my 30 contracts at 78.30. Covered 10 more at 78.10. And the final 10 were stopped out at 78.20 on the way down. Now you might go, but you missed this big move. I did, but I also avoided the inventory report. The inventory report did come out bearish, which would have been favorable for that position. However, I had no way of knowing that. So for me, it was a matter of paying myself, protecting myself, entering the market, getting out of that position, or at least knowing that if the inventory report hit and it went against me, I had a chance of at least not getting slaughtered, because that's not the plan, right? The plan is to pay and protect myself. It does not work all the time, right? Yesterday morning, I took a full stop out, lost $3,300 before I came back and took a $7,500 win later during that day. So, listen, it's what a lot of people don't understand in this business, that it just takes resilience. You have to, and I say unemotionally, I know most people cannot relate to that, but unemotionally, just do your job, right? I'm going to do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, over and over and over again. I know that statistically, if I have a good trade plan and good risk management over time, I should see net profitability. I know that the market goes in cycles. I know some days are going to be better than others. Weeks, months, quarters, halves, and years also going to be better or worse than others. That's just part of the business, and that's where I think a lot of people struggle. Okay, I think they think this is going to just be nice and easy because they've watched a handful of YouTube videos. It's not going to be nice and easy, right? It's going to be an up and down ride. Right? Yesterday morning, like I said, when I started off, the first trade I took was a loss. So if I let that skew my view of what I was doing, or skew the thought process I needed to continue to exhibit, then there was probably going to be a chance that either I would not have taken that second trade, right, or I may not have managed it as I normally would. The first trade went directly against me. It doesn't normally happen. Normally I get that chance at least to buffer in that stop to break even. It didn't work. Okay? Today, I was fortunate. I had a good read on both sides of the market, the push off the low, and then the rotation placing a lower high back to the downside. Felt good about them. Why? Because I had a good read. I felt like the market was checking the boxes that met my personal trade plan, and that's where I entered, and that's why I entered. Right? And as you can see, I didn't pick the low here, and I didn't pick the high here. right? I waited for the probabilities to be in my favor that a low was already set and that a high here was also already set. What happens is, especially when traders want to be reversal traders, because the market is not always trending, not always giving you this wonderful momentum that is the easiest way to trade. So when you get into reversal trading, it's so often that traders want to pick the top or pick the bottom. And the reason they want to do that is because when they're right, they get this incredible rush of dopamine. They feel like they're on top of the world. I'm smarter than the market. You're not. You got lucky. Okay? In some instances, can it be very calculated? Yes. More often than not, what you will see when and where I place my trades, if I'm not in a prior area of support or resistance that's very clear, I am looking for either established low to then look for the opportunity to go long, or an established high and then the opportunity to go short. I'm not necessarily trying to pick the high or the low of the move, because I don't know if we're going to break through it, right? So for me, I'd rather be late to the right party than early to the wrong party. And that's something a lot of people struggle with, and I help them work through it. And hopefully, listen, over time, it's just a business of being repetitive. Do the same thing over and over and over again with a great deal of consistency and discipline, and that is ultimately how you get to do well in this industry. It doesn't mean you're not going to take losses. It doesn't mean you're not going to have hard days or weeks or whatever it may be. You will go through a losing streak. Everybody does. I do. It happens, right? Whether it becomes I get too confident or the market conditions are not presenting what I'm looking for, and perhaps I force a trade. I'm a human. So are you. So is every other trader, right? And knowing that there is an aspect that needs to be tamed, right? The longer I do this, the more that aspect of me becomes tamed. The only way to get there is through practice and repetition. So to me, that's how I've done it. It's helped a bunch of clients of mine. Perhaps it'll help you. Perhaps it won't. I always leave that decision up to you, all right? I don't do forced sales. I don't do gimmicky programs. I don't do continual selling. Why? Because at the end of the day, I just want to be the best trader I can be. And for the folks that want to join alongside that journey so they can become the best trader they desire to be through the lessons taught, through the exposure, through the information provided, great, right? That's who I'm looking to work for, right? The person that wants to just find excuses for their failure, they're definitely not the person for me. Right? They're going to jump from strategy to strategy to strategy, from a guru to another guru, trying to find, what works for them. And the reality is, almost every strategy will work if you're willing to do it long enough and consistent enough. And that's what a lot of people struggle with. They're not willing to put in the time and the effort. And if you are, you will ultimately find success. It's no different than doing anything else in life. Do it over and over and over again. It's impossible not to improve if you just follow the same plan, the same strategy, the same discipline consistently. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Hope you learned something from this. And if I can help you in any way, as always, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day.